Hello, my name is Jen Johnston, Alumni Engagement Officer at Heriot-Watt, and we're delighted to welcome you today to this webinar, Inspiring Entrepreneurs to Take the Next Step. We're going to dive straight in and kick off with the first poll tonight to see where you've all joined us from today. So I will just launch that. And you should now see that on your screen. And while you're completing that, can I just highlight the chat function, which is available at the bottom of your screen? Please feel free to pop any questions in there for our speakers, and we'll try and answer as many as we can in the Q&A session at the end. Okay, I will now, maybe one more second, and I'll end polling, and we'll share results. And Europe's in the lead, closely followed by North America and Asia. So we're always delighted to welcome all our global alumni from around the world. So welcome everyone. Now the slide on your screen shows you the timings for today's webinar. And this event will last for 1 hour, and we'll firstly hear about the success of the Edinburgh Business Schools Incubator and how it has been supporting budding entrepreneurs since its launch in 2018. We're then going to hear from our enterprise team and how it is connected to the incubator and what opportunities there are for you to engage with us. Before we move on, I'm going to quickly run another poll to check if we have got any budding entrepreneurs with us today. There we go. You should now be seeing that on your screens. And while you're doing that one, I'd also like to point out that we will be sharing some relevant links in our chat function throughout the webinar. So please keep checking there for any updates. So we shall end the polling and share the results. Wow, 50-50, fantastic, brilliant, a great mix of people here tonight. So we'll stop sharing that now, and I will pass on to our first speaker, Callum Russell, our EBS Incubator Manager, founder of Unpreneur, and alumnus of Heriot-Watt, to hear about the fantastic impact the incubator has been delivering, and also to hear from 2 of our successful incubees, Jill Henry from Meander Apparel and Ewan Bowen from HIT. Over to you, Callum. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, and it's great to be here, so thank you for joining us. I've got some slides I'll share with you now. Here we go, done this before. That's jumping ahead, so hopefully you can see the slides here. So the incubator really started in July 2018, so we're coming up for our 3rd birthday. And really it was the Dean of the Business School, who some of you may know, Professor Heather McGregor, when she first came into post, one of the first questions she asked was, how can the business school have no business activity? We need to change that. So she set on a mission really to have practical business activity in the business school. And it's so strange now looking at that picture, not because I've aged so badly in the last few years, but also because people standing close together without wearing masks on is something we took for granted until this year, of course. But nonetheless, this was the first intake, which Jill is actually next to me, as Jen said you hear from very shortly. And this is the incubator. So the incubator is a physical location in the business school in Edinburgh, where the incubees, as we call them, the businesses there, they get access to not quite 24/7, but pretty close to it pre-COVID. And it's really a shared workspace where the incubees can almost live together, share ideas, ask for help, share successes, share progress, and all of that stuff that's so important when you're just starting out running a business. And I know myself firsthand how isolating and tough it really is to run a business. I've run my own business since I graduated from Heriot-Watt 9 years ago in various ways. So I've done it pretty much since I graduated, and I know what it's really like. So I think the business incubator is more than a space, though, and to me, this year has really proven that we haven't been in the space for a year. In fact, it's more than 12 months now. It's the word community is massively important in the incubator. So it's more than just the space. So it's a space to try ideas, to meet like-minded people, to be developed and challenged, and have your aspirations raised, and really just meet kindred spirits who are on this journey with you. And the phrase I always use is other people who are emotionally invested in your success as well. The amount of times that I've heard over the years of people saying, if it wasn't for the incubator, I would have quit, I would have given up. But it's this group that's kept me going. And that's so rewarding to me, and I know to the whole team at the business school who are involved in the incubator, and all of our seminar hosts, our speakers. So let's just look at, okay, what is the offering? So the word community is important, and that's really the pillar. But I would say it's the office space. It's the weekly seminars. Every second Tuesday, we have a speaker. So this morning, it was one of the best speakers ever. It was me. And I spoke about Marketing Reborn, which is a session that I've developed, all about how to find the right customers for you and how to avoid those that are not right for you. But really, we bring in the best in class. So the incubees benefit from the best minds and wisdom from the academics in the business school. And they also hear from business leaders, business experts, that many have their own business too. So they really get that blended approach of hearing best in class. And the third piece of that puzzle, so you've got the space, you've got the seminars, is accountability. And that takes a few forms. There is every 4 to 6 weeks, a one-to-one meeting with me for about an hour, where I sit down, review progress, review challenges, play good cop, bad cop, and just see where I can help with connections, celebrating wins, and if there's a real roadblock, how I can move that. And I'll talk about COVID later, but clearly the model had to adapt quite a bit, given that I don't think I can quite say this enough. I haven't been in the incubator for almost 13 months. It's a beautiful space. You can see just how bright it is there. The whole back wall is covered in, it's windows. It's a beautiful, bright space. It was actually the former IT department. And as part of Heather's quest to turn her vision for an incubator into reality, as well as getting me on board and our team, she actually negotiated the IT team move up a floor in the business school to the upper floor, and the incubator was actually turned from the IT department into the incubator. So there's some investment required there, some capital expenditure. So this is the various, as I say, the first cohort of incubees. You see walks of life from all sectors, all nationalities. It's a real melting pot, which I love. It's my favorite part of the incubator, is just hearing people's stories. You know, beyond business, I love hearing people's stories. I love getting to know people, not in a creepy way, but just I like to know people. I think I like hearing stories. It just really excites me as a person. I like to know someone's background, where they've come from, what they're aiming towards, what they're striving for, why they're doing this. So if you look from left to right on the picture there, there's the various people from various, I guess, educational backgrounds. So Faisal on the left did solar energy. David did geothermal energy. Christine did an MBA. Gary is a graduate from Heriot Watt doing accounts and finance. Jill, who you hear from, did fashion. I didn't do fashion, as you can tell. I did marketing and business management at Heriot Watt University. I'm a very proud graduate of Heriot Watt. And a new next to me did an MBA as well. So there's a real mix of people with different degrees, different businesses. And there have now been 5 cohorts. So this is the first cohort in 2018. In the July. I much prefer this photo, but for some reason, I don't know why, but the marketing team wouldn't go for it. Isn't that great fun? The second cohort was in January 2019, a bit smaller, but it's always, as I say, quality, not quantity. And Ewan there, who's second from the right from HIT, Head Impact Trauma, HIT, you'll hear from him momentarily when I stop incoherently rambling on. The third intake, I thought I would take you upstairs so that you didn't have the same photo 4 or 5 times. This was the boardroom upstairs where we would have our weekly seminars. Again, so strange to see people together, smiling, laughing, but nonetheless, a fantastic space, as the business school is for any of you who have been to it. These guys are real posers. You can tell they've done this before. The real professional posers in the incubator. And then, to really change the pictures up, we went virtual. So, last January, when these ladies and gents started an incubator, they got about a month and a bit, maybe 2 months of physical incubator space. And then we went into lockdown, of course. And then this new intake, which started in January this year, has been virtual ever since. So they haven't even seen the incubator yet. And clearly, much like any business, any startup has to adapt in the changing environment, the incubator had to adapt. It went online instantly. So the seminars that were in person were online. And Zoom became our best friend and also our worst enemy, as I'm sure you may have related with your own work over the year. And as a part of our response to kind of get the motivation there and show that we're really there for the incubees, we did a few things. As I say, we moved the seminars online. We did additional seminars. So the seminars are every second Tuesday. In between that, on the odd Tuesday where there wasn't a seminar, we would have an open sort of, I guess, a coffee morning or a water cooler moment whereby I would be available for 2 hours on a Zoom call like this, and other incubees from all 5 cohorts, as you saw there, if you were counting 5 different cohorts in 2.5 years, about 30 businesses overall, they could come and meet each other. Because sometimes in a cohort, it was like a bit like a gym. So not everyone was in at the one time. You might have 30 members in a gym, but not everyone's there. So by having the kind of coffee morning on a Tuesday with no agenda, that was really useful for that kind of those serendipitous moments where people just meet. And that's what happens in life, and we're trying to mimic that. And that worked really well initially. But then being honest with you, I think we all got a bit of Zoom fatigue about the summer, didn't we? I think people were just fed up. The novelty had worn off. We're fed up of meetings, especially those that were unstructured. So again, to respond to that, when we saw that the numbers were declining, we were like, well, this clearly isn't as valuable as it once was. Let's get some structure into it. So rather than being a kind of a coffee morning, if you will, let's make it structured. So Professor Laura Galloway and I, who I work with in the incubator, we did structured seminars every other Tuesday, whereby people brought a challenge, one specific challenge, and the team focused on that. So each incubee was given a few minutes to discuss their idea with the group, and in the following minutes, the group in turn fed back to that person suggestions, ideas, contacts. Have you thought about this? Why not do that? And you just can't beat that community again. Vital. And then, the new intake, we're all online. What else did we do? There's also a WhatsApp group. So each cohort gets their own WhatsApp group. And then there's also like I call it a mega incubator WhatsApp group where every single person in the incubator is in it. So right now there's 20 businesses in the incubator virtually. And they're all in that WhatsApp group. And again, the amount of questions that people ask, it's only a silly question if it's not asked. How do you become VAT registered? I've got this difficult customer. What do I do? I've got a new logo. What do you guys think of it? All of that happens in the WhatsApp group or on those Tuesday mornings when there's no seminar. I think the best story, though, to leave you with, to really sum up the incubator, and poor Faisal, you saw him earlier, but for some reason I've cut his head off here. So Faisal, I'm really sorry. I'll tell you Faisal's story. So Faisal was on the very first cohort, if you remember. He was on the far left in the very first picture. Cast your mind back 15 minutes. And Faisal had a problem, as many business owners do. They have a problem that they see or come across, and they think, I'm going to tackle this, is how most businesses start. You know, in my experience of working with startups and business owners in the last 9 years since I graduated, mostly through Entrepreneur and everything else like that, most people don't just wake up one day and say, do you know, I think I'm going to be a business owner today. That's not really how it happens, maybe in the films, but in real life, people come across a problem or a challenge or a pain point in their own personal life or at work, or someone they know has a problem or a challenge, and they think, why hasn't someone done something about this? Why isn't there a solution? That's usually how it starts, a conversation and a kind of what if? What if I tackled that? And then the audacity, I guess, to take decision and go for it. So Faisal was that person who had a problem. Only it wasn't Faisal who had a problem. It was Faisal's partner, Carrie, who had a problem with Faisal. And I'm sure Faisal won't let me tell you this story. So Carrie had a problem with Faisal. Faisal is a complete nerd. So like I'm a geek in the sense that I wear glasses, and I'm quite geeky, but not overly nerdy. I think there's a kind of spectrum. Whereas Faisal is really nerdy. He's a self-confessed nerd. He just loves inventing things, tinkering with things, making stuff. That's what excites him. And Carrie and Faisal had their first child, Thea, together, who is adorable. She was a regular in the incubator. And Faisal, being this sort of super nerd, would make things, soldering, making things at home. And he couldn't find something to tidy it all away at the end of the night, because when you have a baby, from what I understand, it's not the best thing to have hammers and nails lying around on the floor where they play. So he couldn't find anything for a price point he thought was good that could be stored, but also could fold out and turn any surface into a work surface. So he created this Inventipod. He made it himself. He imported the parts and laser cut it all, and it all stitched together. And he sold a few of these to other people. And he was like, oh, maybe there's a business here. And the university bought some. He sold some to other schools, other libraries, and he solved his own problem and problems for other people. But unfortunately for Faisal, he hit a ceiling. He couldn't sell anymore. And there's various reasons for that we won't go into now. But the point is, he hit a ceiling. And there's a really critical point that most business owners face at some point, maybe more than once, is do we keep going or do we stop? Do we try something else? Do we pack it all in? Do I go and get a so-called real job, whatever that really means? Faisal decided, we had many chats, mostly in the bistro in the business school, which I miss dearly. Again, if you've been, the food is awesome and I really miss it. But Faisal, far too close to dinner time, I'm getting hungry. Faisal decided he wanted to try, he got the bug for business, is it's so infectious, was like, I'm going to tackle this. Faisal went back to his roots and thought, he's passionate about solar energy, he's passionate about climate change. Any conversation with Faisal, whether it's about breakfast cereal or whatever else, mostly ends up in climate change. He's really passionate about that. And he did it at university. He's got a PhD in solar energy. So then he's like, right, I'm going to try again with my second business, Solaris Kit. Solaris Kit is the world's first prism-shaped solar thermal collector. And for someone like me who doesn't understand that sort of level of technicality, basically you see it on the back of the bike there. It's flat-packed, it's portable, low cost, it's affordable, and it basically takes energy from the sun and can be used to heat up water consistently. So a big market for him is the developing world, where sadly, even in 2021, there's still not consistent electricity to heat water at a fair price. And he actually secured a grant from the UK government to test this in Rwanda for a year. And then COVID happened. Again, like the incubator had to pivot, and many of the incubees did, so did Faisal. So he had to change to looking at the UK domestic market, hotels, glamping, holiday parks, caravan parks, basically anywhere that use a lot of energy, swimming pools, anywhere that use energy to heat up water. And now he's focusing on the UK for the time being before going out to the developing world. So I think Faisal's story is it's not typical of every business we work with in the incubator or elsewhere in our other work, but it's just a flavor of, we need to support someone through that whole journey. And for me, it's never the business you're supporting, it's always the person. And that's why community is at the heart of the incubator and everything we do. And that's why community is so important in life as well. It's always about the people, the business is secondary. So rounding things up for me, because I've spoken far too long, let's very quickly rattle through the impact the incubators have. It's been over 2 years. This is a little bit out of date, so it's even better now, but this is where we were July last year. 2 years of the incubator. Of the 8 firms that were trading, because many of them are still in the research and development phase, they raised over £1 million in sales. So that's really impressive. That's actual money from actual customers. So that's sales. They also secured just shy of £300,000 in private investment. That's now a lot higher. I should probably have updated these. And as I mentioned, there's been 30 businesses over the 5 cohorts in the sort of 2.5 years. 48 new jobs at least have been created in a time where jobs are being cut left, right, and centre due to COVID and the pandemic. 12 patents filed. Amazing stuff. Really proud of that as well. And there's a slide that's missing because I couldn't find it. He whispers. Over another £1 million of grants and trusts secured from public funding from elsewhere. So collectively £2 million, really, in terms of sales and turnover, if you like, from grants and trusts. So a huge impact the incubator's had. And we look forward to building on that success in the next few years. I realise we didn't have much time tonight, so I'm going to stop talking very quickly and pass over to Ewan and then Jill. But if anyone wants to continue the conversation, this is my LinkedIn. I can promise you there are very few Callum with the K's. I have no surname. So please hunt me down directly. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm also sure the Illumini team can pass on the details of the Incubator website where you'll find my contact details there. Happy to answer any questions. Just a very, very quick plug because I'm running well over time, as I always do. You know, us business owners like to break the rules. We are looking for new incubees for the July intake. We'll be recruiting very soon for that. So if you know anyone or you yourself are going to start a business, please apply for the incubator. There is a recruitment process. It will be going live pretty soon. So the best place is to watch the incubator website where you can apply, download an application form, fill it in. Equally, we're always looking for seminar hosts, mentors, people who can help the incubees in any which way. Again, if you can help investors, if you have money, we want to speak to you. No, please, if you or someone you know can help, would love the support. So please get in touch with me about that as well. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight, and really appreciate giving it your time. I still love that photo. It's still the best photo of all time. I'm going to stop talking now and pass you over to Ewan, who's recorded a video for tonight. Sadly, Ewan couldn't be here, so I'm very quickly going to reshare my screen. This time, clicking the box that you're meant to click so that you can hear the audio. So Ewan's going to speak, and I'll pass you over to Jill, who's actually live on the call. So hopefully you can hear this okay. So that is the same slides, Callum, and we're going to open up. This is Ewan here, so hopefully you can hear this okay.
Hi, I'm Ewan Bowen, founder of HIT and current member of the ABS Incubator, virtually. HIT is a wearable tech and companion app that monitors head impact force severity for any user that wears it across all ages, all activities. At the moment, we have developed a universal seal, so it fits on the back of any hard shell helmet. We also have a head guard and a halo headband that allows for wear in football and rugby or any other sport that doesn't wear a helmet. The device itself works very simply. Turn it on with the magnet. There we go. On as the magnet, and it's green. And then if you get an impact, nice little impact there, above a threshold that you set in the app, it will then start monitoring and tell you, indicate you, or the user or anyone in the vicinity that you've had a threshold impact and have to be removed from play to be assessed or checked out. Now, HIT doesn't monitor or diagnose a concussion. What it does do is it monitors all the little subconcussive blows and provides you the data that you can act on as a parent, user, or coach. It's very simple, long overdue with the current guidelines around concussion and head impacts, TBIs across sport. And yeah, so at the moment we are literally trying our best to sell it. We've just launched on Kickstarter. yeah, one of the great things about the incubator is I have a product design background. I did product design at university, know nothing about business. I thought this project was going to get me a good grade and I'd go off and get a graduate job. But one of the things that the incubators allowed me, following the decision to try and take this forward as a business, was to help understand how a business works. How do you go about it? Oh, I've got a product here. How do I set up a startup like HIT? Now, with the help of Callum, Laura Galloway, and all of the entrepreneur team, and all the great seminars from the world-class panel, like guest speakers that come on board, have really helped me develop this, and it's really helped me get our feet off the ground now to a point, as I just mentioned, where we are launching on Kickstarter. We are, thankfully, we've just been taken on as an Amazon vendor. So you go on Amazon in a couple of months' time, you'll see HIT Impact, and it will be prime delivery. So they're going to buy some stock off us, and they'll do all the fulfillment for us, which is really, really exciting. Long way from getting a good grade and going and getting a graduate job. So very excited to be part of the EBS Incubator. It's really helped advance the business. There's lots of like-minded individuals. You can bounce ideas. And one of the things is, startups can be really lonely. Being part of the incubator, you've got a real community feel, and everyone's working towards their own individual goals, but unselfishly, you're bouncing ideas, you're helping each other. Callum and Laura are really guiding the team, and it has been brilliant. So I'm really sorry I can't be there today. We're on Kickstarter at the moment, so you're welcome to go and have a browse of HIT Impact on Kickstarter, and you can follow us on social media. Just type HIT in capital letters, and it should appear. So hopefully you'll be hearing a lot more about us over the coming weeks and months. So sorry I can't be there, but have a great evening, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Ewan. I don't know if Ewan mentioned the fact that they've got a Kickstarter enough times. It was only 4 times by my calculation. But yeah, they've got a Kickstarter. So please, if you can, dig deep. I'm going to pass you over very quickly to Jill. I've spoken a bit too long, so I'm sorry, Jill. So I'm going to stop talking and pass you over to Jill, who's here. So thank you so much for listening, and look forward to hearing your story again, Jill.
Hi, thank you, Callum, and thanks for inviting me on to have a chat and tell you guys all a little bit about who Meander is, and a little bit about my experience in the incubator. So Meander is a sustainable and technical clothing brand. We make versatile clothing that's designed to look good in the city and perform in the outdoors. We came up with the idea, it was a few years ago, following a charity bike ride that my husband and myself organised from London to Paris, where we were looking for a jacket to wear on our bike ride, which was, the best performance material, so it had to be waterproof and breathable, but it didn't look like a technical cycling jacket. We wanted something that we could wear in Paris, off the bike, around those bars too. But I find that most technical or performance gear tends to look very technical. It's got lots of logos, and it just kind of screams outdoor gear. So following our bike ride, we went on to create a jacket. We decided that, it didn't exist, so we would go out and make one. So we created our own Meander jacket, which was everything we wanted for a bike ride. It was, Scandinavian-inspired minimalist design, which looked good, no logos, but it was very waterproof, very lightweight, and very breathable and packable, and just exactly what we wanted for the bike ride. We wanted to test our idea out, so we launched it like what Ewan is in the middle of at the moment. We launched our idea on Indiegogo, which is very similar to Kickstarter, and a place where you can put your idea out, and backers or supporters, if they get behind you, can help you launch your product, which is exactly what we did. So we launched our very first jacket, and our very first production run was funded from backers around the world, which was very exciting. And I think the campaign's success led us on to create our next collection and for, to develop Meander further into what it is today. We launched our crowdfunding campaign back in 2018, which is exactly the time that we joined the Incubator. Well, it was myself at the time, actually. I was pretty much working in the business alone at that time. It was Steve has always been a co-founder. He has now only just joined the business full-time, which is very exciting. But at that particular time, it was just myself, which I'd say is a perfect time to join somewhere like an incubator. For myself, it was very much about getting support from people like Callum, from a network of other entrepreneurs who are on this journey with you. I think, like what Ewan said, it can be a lonely place. It can be, just joining an incubator is an amazing place to bounce ideas off people, to have that accountability, to attend those seminars, and just to get that kind of motivation that you sometimes need when you're working on something day in, day out yourself. Through being an EBS incubator, I've definitely expanded my network. I have an amazing accountant. He was brought in to do a design thinking seminar, so not your usual accountant at all. And I immediately just, thought I need to have this person on my team. He was so enthusiastic and inspiring. So we now have Ali as our more than an accountant. He's a mentor and someone who we meet with quite regularly to give us good business advice. Callum also goes out his way to connect you with mentors, and I was lucky enough to be introduced to a mentor who is the MD of a huge retail chain, of a huge national retail chain, who has now become an investor in our business as well. So it's through all those connections at EBS that we learned so much, met a great community, and just are very thankful that we were able to develop the business idea and meet so many people along the journey whilst I was in there. We've now gone on. Meander, since our first product, has developed into a wider range of sustainable technical clothing that's designed not only for cyclists but for outdoor lovers in general who are looking for stylish and versatile gear that's great for either drinking espressos in the city, walking the dog, or hiking Munros. It's all about that blend of stylish gear that's using high performance materials. We mostly trade online to a UK customer base, but we do have customers around the world. And last year we opened up a pop-up store in the midst of the kind of pandemic, I guess. We opened it in October and we traded until pre-Christmas on George Street, which is a Meander pop-up store where we sell our own goods as well as other premium design-led Scottish brands, which has been a great opportunity to meet our customers in person and really increase our brand awareness. We're now at the point that Steve has just joined Meander full-time in the business as well, and we have taken on 2 employees. And then looking forwards, by the end of this year, we have plans to have another 2 more stores, so 1 in Glasgow and 1 in London. And we hope to have around 10 employees working in the business. So it's really exciting times, and I'm thankful that we were able to pick an outdoor clothing, which seems, despite a pandemic and everything that's going on, people are enjoying being in the outdoors. So thankfully our business has still been able to thrive during these times. But yes, I think that kind of sums up exactly where we are now, and I'm very thankful to the Incubator, everyone that we met there on our journey. And I would definitely encourage anyone who's thinking about starting a business to reach out to an incubator, or to EBS Incubator in particular, to meet a community of like-minded people and who will help and encourage you on your way. So thank you. I think I will hand back over to Callum, perhaps, or here we go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jill. That was great. Thank you very much. So thank you to you and Callum. And Callum, don't worry, it's not long to dinner. You don't have to last too much longer. But yeah, so thank you both for that insightful presentations, and for Jill and you. And it's great to hear about your impressive experiences and your success. Good luck with the new stores, Jill. That sounds fantastic. So before we move to our next speakers, I'll just take a moment to remind you that you can use the chat function. I'm also going to do a wee quick poll asking if we have anybody out there interested in supporting entrepreneurship at Heriot Watt. So I will just launch that one just now. And you should be able to see that on your screens. And please feel free to pop your questions in the chat as well. And looking at, I will now end the polling and share results. And we've got a lovely positive response there, so that's fantastic to see. That 47% are currently interested, which is fantastic, and 40% considering it for the future. So thank you for that. I'll stop sharing the results now. And just moving on, I'd like to introduce you to our next speakers, Leanne Muldowney, our Marketing Communications Manager for the Enterprise team, and Alex Tasuli, our Enterprise Executive. Thank you.
Leanne, sorry, you're on mute.
Apologies, everyone. I thought I'd unmuted.
No problem. It happens to the best of us, Leanne.
Yeah, so thank you for that introduction, Jen. Can everyone hear me okay now? Okay. Yes, as you've just heard, my name's Leanne. I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for Enterprise at Heriot Watt, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Enterprise team, Grid at Heriot Watt, and our various activities. So, as this audience will know, Heriot Watt is very focused on pioneering global research which solves social and economic problems in close collaboration with industry. Our leading research focuses on finding solutions to major global challenges through significant international collaborations and connectivity to business. Our multidisciplinary, award-winning research shapes the future by building capacity and capability, and we transform applied innovation into commercial opportunities which make a real-world impact within society and the environment. The Enterprise team at Grid encourage the abundance of entrepreneurial talent among staff and students, and we work closely with the EBS Incubator to support entrepreneurs as they grow and establish their business. Our approach is inclusive, encompassing a vibrant research environment with an entrepreneurial spirit, allowing us to offer a unique ecosystem where people can develop their careers, advance the most promising ideas, and deliver outstanding impact for society. So the Enterprise team are usually located in the Grid building on campus. Grid is a state-of-the-art facility opened late in 2019. It's much more than just a building. It's an ecosystem which brings together world-leading talent and the brightest minds to tackle current industry challenges and pioneer innovations to drive future economies and build companies of scale. Collaboration is at the core of our work, and our industry partnership approach is invaluable in connecting our stakeholders and delivering the commercialization of research and the growth and scale of innovative tech companies. Grid is a key enabler in connecting academia and industry and in deriving commercial opportunities from that collaboration. So moving on, I'm just going to show you a short video of the Grid building, which gives a brief showcase of our labs and collaborative spaces. So GRID offers something distinct. We bring together computing, mathematics and engineering alongside business enterprise and embrace a learn by doing philosophy. This includes a space to incubate companies that range from small startups to larger corporations. Technology and engineering have transformed the modern world and have significant potential to change things for the better. Innovation and entrepreneurship have a significant role to play in helping the world to recover from the current pandemic. Throughout the last year, we've seen the rapid adoption of digital technology and an explosion of new data. GRID's facilities are cutting edge and feature the very latest in technological innovation, with augmented reality and gamification studios, digital environments for maths and computer science, and discovery labs for engineering and physical science. In order to achieve our objectives, in 2021, we'll be focusing on building our innovation pipeline. Over 200 staff and students have engaged with us since September 2020 via our workshops, competitions, and one-to-one consultation service. We'll be ramping up this activity and bringing stronger focus to our global research institutes covering robotics and AI, earth and marine sciences, and energy transition. We will expand our mentor network and increase our global reach by building on our existing partnerships and developing local partnerships in our campus locations with organisations such as Converge and BioCity in Scotland, 1337 Ventures in Malaysia, and the Dubai Futures Foundation. We'll also be looking at creating stronger opportunities for our staff and students through programmes such as Converge, iCure and Scottish Enterprise, and additionally fellowship opportunities through the Royal Society of Edinburgh and the Royal Academy of Engineering. The Enterprise Directorate was established around 2 years ago, and in that time we've developed partnerships with several global organisations, including DAR Group, LVMH, eSure and Cisco. Our industry partnership approach aims to grow and scale businesses to compete on the global stage, to unite entrepreneurial talent with commercial experience, and to generate stronger opportunities for R&D funding. In terms of our students, these partnerships are designed to support high caliber, industry-ready graduates, and additionally to upskill students and boost entrepreneurship. So I'm just going to show you another short video. This one encapsulates our approach to industry partnerships. So how does the enterprise team support entrepreneurs? We provide expert advice on commercialisation, intellectual property, investment, sales, and much more. We provide robust training through webinars, workshops, and online resources. We have a dedicated site which gives access to events and speaker series information, and additionally to tools that can help throughout the journey. We offer one-to-one consultations to help develop ideas, access to external support networks and industry collaborators, and we also have a dedicated enterprise community where entrepreneurs can engage with like-minded people across all campuses. Finally, we offer support in accessing funding across internal and external competitions, enterprise fellowships and commercialisation programmes. So the university worked closely with Santander Universities. This is an ambitious strategic initiative run by Santander UK. It focuses on entrepreneurship, employability and education. Working in partnership with its university network, it aims to break down barriers for higher education students where aspirations exceed means and to support these students in achieving their goals. We recently signed a new agreement with Santander, which will empower the university to facilitate tailored packages of financial and in-kind support to help students boost their career prospects, make their business ideas a reality, and to support their learning and career journey. So thank you everyone for listening. I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Alex, who will tell you more about enterprise, grids, and more specifically, the programs we're currently running.
Hi everyone, yes, I'm Alex. I'm an enterprise executive here on the enterprise team. And now I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the programs that we've been running. So the Innovation Impact Fund was established by our former Chancellor, Bob Buchan, with the intent of supporting student and graduate startup businesses with the most innovative and commercially viable business ideas that can have a positive impact on wider society. And Harriet Watt is committing to growing this fund and creating an innovation ecosystem across all of our campuses and creating an environment where international entrepreneurs can flourish. And one of the successful companies to benefit from this Innovation Impact Fund is Turtle Pack, who created a really fun swimming aid for kids aimed about 2 years and over. And this unique turtle shell design allows kids to swim arms free in the correct horizontal position in the water. And the shell component is actually made out of 3 separate foam shells that are detachable. So as a child progresses and learns how to swim better, you can reduce the buoyancy by removing parts of the shell. So not only is it a great practical invention, but kids, they love the idea of being a turtle, or they associate it with being a ninja turtle. And it's really rewarding to see their visual progression as they learn how to swim. Next slide, please. And here are just a few of the many successful startups and spin-outs and spin-ins that the enterprise team has launched. I'll just name a couple right now. For instance, Kenotech, they're a successful spin-out from Harriet Watt, who invented the K-brick. The K-brick is a new type of building brick, which is made of 90% recycled construction waste. And also, unlike common clay bricks, during the production process, they don't need to be fired. So there's a lot less CO2 emission in production as well. And then Farmhands, another interesting one. Farmhands are an agri-tech startup founded in India. And they're spin-in, they're going to be using our grid facility here at Harriet Watt. And by way of the Internet of Things enabled technology, they provide analytics for irrigation systems to small and medium farms. Next slide, please. Now, Future Made for Success is a new program that we've launched last summer in 2020. And it's an education-led response to the impact of the pandemic. And the aim of this program is to help students gain entrepreneurial skills, improve their employability potential, and become more commercially aware. We've launched this program in collaboration with some of our global industry partners, such as Schneider Electric, Filament, or the Dyson Foundation. And we've delivered workshops and offered mentoring and helped students really we've helped them face and overcome real life industry challenges. Next slide, please. And the Innovation Challenge. Now, this is another, recent addition that the enterprise team has come up with to our suite of programs. This too was just launched in semester 1, so September 2020. And we are currently running the semester 2 program, which will culminate at the end of April with the final pitching event. And the innovation program is aimed at all of our aspiring entrepreneurs across our campuses. And the aim of this program is to promote entrepreneurship across the entire university and at the same time launch successful startups and spin-outs from our university. The program is open to students and staff alike, where they can attend workshops and receive mentoring and guidance and really develop their business and entrepreneurial acumen. And of course, there's the opportunity to win funding to develop their innovative business ideas that they have. In semester 1, participants could win up to £500, and in semester 2, at the end of the pitching event, the winners will be able to receive up to £5,000 in funding to further develop their ideas. Next slide, please. And just lastly, as a closing note, here at the enterprise team, we're always looking for new collaboration opportunities, whether it's sourcing new entrepreneurial speakers to collaborate with our programs like Future Made for Success or Innovation Challenge, or industry partners who might want to offer mentoring to our students and staff. Or we're looking for new budding enterprises who are looking to use facilities or welcome in our grid or our innovation park. And of course, we're always open to research and development partnerships. And we're always looking to source more investment opportunities. So if any of this is appealing to you, and if you're interested in collaborating in any of these opportunities, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was great to hear. Thank you, Leanne and Alex. Really interesting to hear about all the successful enterprise activities that are happening at GRID, but also how you're supporting our students and the opportunities that are available for our alumni to engage. We're now going to quickly move to our question and answer session. We have a few questions, but if you do have a question, please feel free to drop it into the chat just now. I'm going to kick off with our first question for Callum. And that, Callum, is what advice do you have for anyone thinking about starting a business?
I suspect saying don't do it is the wrong answer. No, I'm just kidding. I think you can do it regardless of, there's a thing we call it entrepreneur, but the 3 big blockers that really stop people starting a business before they even get going. And they are lack of experience, no business idea, and lack of money. There are other reasons too, but those are the big 3 that stop people from actually getting going. And all 3 of them can easily be overcome. As you've heard with Faisal's story, he had an idea, he tried it, it wasn't quite right, he tried again. And when I went through the example of the slides with the incubees in the first cohort, and I told you all the courses that the people there, the incubees, graduated from, about half were business, but half were not. And Jill did a fashion degree, if I'm not wrong, from Heriot as well, Jill. So again, don't let where you are stop you from trying something. And I mean, I could speak at this for an hour, so that's probably not what you want, but I'm really passionate about this question in particular, because so many dreams, so many business ideas are killed in the very kind of embryonic state before they even get going because of these 3 big blockers. And you can also have them an idea killed far too early, depending on who you seek advice from. If you speak to someone and they don't quite understand what you're saying, or they say get a real job, or they say that sounds a bit dangerous, a bit risky, then you might think, okay, you're right, I'll get a job, or I won't do it. And it's timing. You have to be stubborn enough to persist with that. When I told my parents I was going to have my first business, they were like, "You're not doing it, terrible idea, get a job." And I was like, "No, I'm going to do this because I regret not doing it." I think it's your life, it's your business. You have to have a bit of stubbornness, not quite arrogance, but very close to it for the right reasons. And you can start small, is the last thing I'll say. Is there's this really bad myth that you have to go all in. You know, it's the business or nothing. You have to drop out of college or drop out of university or drop out of your job to start a business. And that's nonsense. Whilst there are high profile examples of that are spoon-fed to us by the media, that isn't the example for most businesses we work with in the last 9 years. It's actually people dipping their toe in, trying something out, getting feedback, doing it very organically, very manageably. Maybe if you've got a job or you're still studying, you can try it in the mornings before you start work or before you start uni, and just try and experiment and tweak and keep going. And Faisal was a full-time lecturer at Heriot-Watt when he was starting his business. So he came in 6 till 9. He was in the incubator with me. He cycled in as well. He lived in the Dean Village. So he'd cycle into Heriot-Watt, took half an hour, cycle in, do 3 hours work on his business, do his full-time lecturing job, do an hour in the evening, and then cycle home to his wife and his kid. So it can be done. It's about how bad you want it. So I lied. There's one more thing is ask for help. And there's plenty of help out there. There's the incubator, there's the enterprise team, there's articles online, there's YouTube. This is like the best time ever to start a business because there's so much support out there. Even in the pandemic, in fact, especially because of the pandemic, there's so much help and there are more problems facing the world. And as I said earlier, all businesses do is solve problems. That's all the people in the incubator do is solve problems and help people. And there are more problems than ever before. So if you have an idea, no matter how big or small, just try it, experiment. And I could speak for literally 4 hours on this.
No, but that's great. No, I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying that's great. That's great.
That is, in a nutshell, it's just do it.
Yeah. And it's great to give people that reassurance, isn't it? When it's so daunting, as you're saying, it can be isolating having your own business. And how do you take that step? So it is reassuring for people to hear that it's definitely worth it. I think we can squeeze one final question in. I've got one for Leanne. Leanne, research shows that many startups fail in their first year. What support can you or Enterprise at Grid offer companies after they've started and in terms of scaling their business?
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, so it seems like a good time now to talk about the Heriot-Watt Research Park. So the Research Park is already a world-leading centre for science and engineering research, and over the next decade, the university has plans which aim to drive inclusive growth. That's focused on the creation of new jobs, of investment and international partnerships through the development of the research park into a dynamic global innovation district. And the focus for that will be on advanced R&D, talent development, commercialization and startup activity. So the journey for entrepreneurs should hopefully be EBS Incubator before moving into Grid and then onto a research park where they can develop bespoke facilities that suit their needs. They'll have access to our key partners within this ecosystem, and they'll have the enterprise team and the Heriot-Watt academics on their doorstep. So, you know, access to that expertise as they grow the business.
That's fantastic, Leanne. It shows the support from all stages, really, doesn't it? The support is there. Yeah, thank you for that. Well, that's us just at 6, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining. Huge thanks to our speakers, to Callum, Leanne, Alex, Jill and Ewan for taking the time to share their expertise and insights today. Please remember to look out for your follow-up email, which will include a recording of today's webinar, and we ask you to feel free to share that with your networks. You'll also receive a link to a short survey, and we really value your feedback on how we're running our events and also what events you're keen to hear. So what topics would you like us to focus on next time? So we're really keen to hear. And if you didn't get a chance to ask a question or you would like to reach out to any of us, please use the Watt Club email. It's also in the chat. And there'll be other links available on our website as well too. We're celebrating our bicentennial year this year, and the next Hutton Series lecture is coming up in April. So that's the end of today's webinar. Thanks again for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.